They call it the Savage Mountain, standing 8,611 meters, 28,251 feet high. K2 is the second highest peak on Earth, yet it is far more dangerous than Everest. Before 2021, nearly one climber died for every 4 who reached the summit. By August 2023, around 800 climbers had successfully stood on its peak, but 96 others never returned. Extreme storms, sheer slopes, and lethal cold have turned K2 into the deadliest prize in mountaineering. This story recounts 5 tragic cases where climbers fell to their deaths from the Savage Mountain. In the world of mountaineering, few climbers were as legendary or respected as Kazuya Hiraide and Kenro Nakajima. These were not average thrill seekers. At 45, Kazuya Hiraide was Japan's most decorated alpinist, renowned for daring climbs no one had ever attempted. Nakajima, just 39, was younger but equally fearless, driven by a relentless pursuit to explore untouched routes. Together, they formed an unstoppable duo, their record including multiple prestigious Piolet d'Or awards, the Oscars of the climbing world. Their expeditions were groundbreaking, from scaling Chisper's daunting northeast face, a 7,611-meter giant in Pakistan, to carving unprecedented paths on Rakaposhi and Tirich Mir. Their climbs were not about fame or glory, but a deeply personal quest to venture into places no one had been and to conquer routes never before thought possible. In July 2024, after 2 decades of chasing summits and dreams, Hiraide and Nakajima set their sights on K2, attempting the unclimbed west face. This was no ordinary path. Sharp vertical ice cliffs, unpredictable weather, and avalanches threatened climbers at every step. Yet, it was the unknown and the challenge that drew them. They meticulously prepared, studying every potential danger, mapping routes and checking gear countless times. On July 27th at dawn, they were spotted by a film crew at over 7,500 meters, nearing one of the most perilous sections of the climb. Conditions were harsh. The ice underfoot was slick and unstable. Every step was life or death. Then disaster struck. A slip, not a dramatic avalanche or sudden storm, but a single moment where the ice betrayed their careful footing. They fell over a kilometer more than 1,000 terrifying meters, down the sheer west face of K2. Their motionless bodies, still roped together, were later spotted by a helicopter at around 6,300 meters, an unreachable location. A rescue operation was launched, but on K2, even rescue attempts flirt with disaster. Helicopters could not land and ground rescues were impossible at that altitude. Days passed and hope faded. By July 30th, officials made the heartbreaking decision. There would be no recovery attempt. The mountain had claimed 2 more lives. The climbing world reacted with shock and deep sadness. Tributes flooded social media, honoring their courage, skill, and humanity. Mountaineers around the globe mourned the loss of heroes who inspired countless climbers. In Japan, their longtime sponsor, Ishii Sports, confirmed the tragic news, hosting a commemorative ceremony in December 2024. Over 1,500 people gathered in Shinjuku, Tokyo, paying respects to these extraordinary athletes. Photos of their past triumphs and their Piolet d'Or trophies served as poignant reminders of their incredible lives. At the ceremony, fellow climbers recounted their boldness and humanity, remembering how Hiraide and Nakajima embraced risk to push climbing boundaries. Both men's families, though devastated, expressed quiet pride. These two had lived their dreams passionately until the very end. But Hiraide and Nakajima were not the first, and certainly would not be the last to fall victim to K2's ruthless slopes. Just 3 years earlier, another legendary climber lost his life on the same icy mountain, Sergi Mingote, a Spanish mountaineer famous for chasing extraordinary dreams. Before mountains became his obsession, Mingote was a respected mayor in Parets del Vallès, Spain. In 2018, he left politics to pursue the ambitious 14 by 1,000 Catalonia project, to climb all 14 mountains over 8,000 meters without bottled oxygen in less than 1,000 days. This project captured the imagination of people worldwide. In January 2021, Mingote decided to tackle K2 in winter, an incredibly bold choice, as winter conditions on K2 are brutally harsh. Temperatures can plunge below -25 degrees Celsius, winds reach hurricane speeds, and ice-covered cliffs make every step dangerous. Mingote teamed up with two skilled climbers, Juan Pablo Mohr from Chile and Tamara Lunga from Italy. By January 15th, the trio had climbed up to Camp 3 at around 7,000 meters, acclimatizing to the freezing conditions. The next day, Mingote and Mohr started descending back to base camp. Mohr moved faster and took the lead, but suddenly saw a climber tumbling uncontrollably past him. He shouted desperately, but it was too late. Mingote had fallen nearly 600 meters down the frozen slope, coming to rest near advanced base camp. His GPS tracker sent unusual signals, and Nepalese climber Changdawa Sherpa, leading the winter expedition, quickly confirmed the tragic news on Instagram. Fellow climbers rushed to his location, but the tragedy had already unfolded. At just 49 years old, Mingote was gone. The climbing community was stunned. Investigators found that the ropes in that area were securely fixed and undamaged. Had Mingote slipped when changing ropes? Was he struck by falling ice or rocks? No one knows for sure. The mountain kept that mystery to itself. The tragic news quickly spread, with Spain's Prime Minister and Mingote's official Instagram page both delivering emotional farewells. Just one day before, Mingote had posted an update celebrating reaching 7,000 meters. No one imagined it would be his last. At base camp, sadness overtook climbers. Alex Gavan, originally Tamara's climbing partner, was so shaken by Mingote's death that he abandoned his climb and left for home. But Mohr and Lunga made a courageous decision. They would continue climbing, determined to honor their lost friend. In this incredible journey through the stories of K2's bravest climbers, we divided this video into two parts. This is just the first part, and we cover 3 stories here. Stay tuned, as part 2 will be uploaded soon, where we'll explore even more unforgettable moments and 2 more stories from the Savage Mountain. Let's continue the video. Juan Pablo Mohr, born February 9, 1987, in Santiago, Chile, was a talented architect and dedicated family man, married since 2011 and father to 3 children. After graduating from Diego Portales University in 2012, he combined architecture with adventure, creating Deporte Libre, a nonprofit turning forgotten spaces around Santiago into vibrant sports playgrounds. His greatest achievement was transforming 2 abandoned 40-meter water silos into Latin America's highest urban climbing walls. But Mohr was not satisfied with city climbs alone. In 2017, he conquered Annapurna, becoming the first Chilean to reach its summit. By 2019, he made history climbing both Everest and neighboring Lhotse in less than 1 week, without oxygen or Sherpa support, a Guinness World Record. After adding Dhaulagiri to his list, he set his eyes on something even tougher: K2's first ever winter ascent without bottled oxygen. When Mingote fell to his death on January 16, 2021, Mohr refused to leave K2. He joined forces with Italian climber Tamara Lunga, who eventually had to withdraw. Mohr then teamed up with Pakistani mountaineer Muhammad Ali Sadpara, his son Sajid Ali, and Icelander John Snorri Sigurjonsson. The group pushed upward, fighting extreme cold and brutal winds. On February 5, 2021, they made their final desperate push for K2's summit. Sajid Ali Sadpara had to turn back early due to problems with his oxygen regulator. Mohr, Muhammad, and Snorri continued alone. Their GPS trackers showed steady progress through the dangerous bottleneck, a notoriously icy corridor near K2's peak. Then, suddenly, silence. All 3 GPS devices stopped responding. The next morning, climbers at base camp feared the worst. Pakistani Army helicopters searched up to 7,000 meters, but were forced back by high winds and brutal conditions. Hope faded day by day. On February 18th, after nearly 2 weeks of silence, officials confirmed what everyone feared. Mohr, Sadpara, and Snorri were officially declared dead. Back home in Chile, news spread fast and tributes poured in from around the globe. Mohr's own foundation mourned deeply. His legacy was not just mountains, but bringing hope to communities that needed it most. In July 2021, Mohr's body was found high on K2. His family chose to leave him there, his final resting place, now the mountain he fought so bravely to conquer. Today, Deporte Libre continues changing lives, installing climbing walls and playgrounds across Chile. As his cousin Federico Chies summed up, everyone has their own summits. Juan Pablo Mohr showed the world that no matter how high your dreams, we all have the strength inside to climb toward them. If you found this video inspiring, please like, share, and let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Remember, Part 2 is on the way, so stay connected, and I'll see you soon with more extraordinary tales from K2. Until then, take care and keep reaching for your own summits.